everybody, this is JJ for Frontline Star Wars Forcecast, and today I'm going to be talking about the premiere of Season 2 of Rebels on October 14th. That could be today, could be tomorrow, depending on where you live. But yeah, I'm really excited about Season 2. Season 1 was amazing. I didn't go in with the highest expectations, just like Clone Wars, but throughout the season, definitely the show got better and was just really amazing and really pushed the boundaries. It wasn't afraid to get darker, which I was worried about it being, shown on Disney XD. You're probably thinking, no, the Battlefront beta is over. What am I going to do with my life right now? Well, don't worry. You have Star Wars Rebels Season 2 premiere. And if the trailer's any guide, this season's going to be amazing. So I'm going to talk about, the Season 2 trailer that dropped at New York City Comic Con a couple days ago, and the panel they had with Dave Filoni and a lot of the, cast members where they gave a lot of cool info about the upcoming season and, touched on other topics. Season 1 officially left off with Kanan defeating the Inquisitor. And the Inquisitor's last words were pretty ominous. You have no idea what you have released here today. Some things are more frightening than death. And what he was saying was that now that the Inquisitor was killed, Vader's going to see the rebels, Kanan, Ezra, Hera, Sabine, and Zeb as a real threat, and is definitely going to be dealing with them more hands-on, as we saw in the Siege of Lothal. And I thought they walked the line very well in Siege of Lothal. They had to show Vader was extremely powerful, because compared to Kanan and Ezra, come on, Vader is just on another level. But they really, had to give the rebels a way to escape to keep the show going. And I thought they walked that line really well. They showed Vader extremely powerful, but they had the rebels escape, in a reasonable manner. Yeah, so definitely we saw what the Inquisitor was talking about in Siege of Lothal, the 1 hour movie that was in June. That was kind of a lead up to this Season 2. Yeah, Vader looked really powerful, and it was great that James Earl Jones voiced Vader. I couldn't imagine anyone else voicing Vader. That was just, he does that voice so perfectly. Yeah, there are a lot of other people who do a good, evil voice, but James Earl Jones really shows the full level of the character, the full complexity of Vader, and that was awesome to see him voice Vader. Yeah, now in Season 2, Vader will not be directly going after the rebels, at least initially. He's dispatched 2 new Inquisitors to handle the rebels, the 5th brother and the 7th sister.
The Inquisitors are after these kids because they're like you, Ezra.
This is one of my most advanced designs, and it packs a punch.
The 7th sister being voiced by the very talented Sarah Michelle Gellar. So I think she's going to bring a lot to that character.
What is that? A bounty hunter?
Guess again. I'm Sarah Michelle, and I play the 7th sister on Star Wars Rebels. I am an Inquisitor.
Pretty cool. And I think this is smart because you don't want Vader going after Kanan and Ezra and the rebels every week. That'd be just too much for them to handle. And they want to use Vader as a build-up, and to see him going after him every week would just be too much. Because the rebels, they wouldn't have a chance every week. So versus Inquisitors, I think they'll have a chance to, obviously Kanan defeated this Inquisitor pretty well, so we'll see. Yeah, and I think we'll see the Inquisitors a lot. Because now that these rebels are a serious threat, that I think the new Inquisitors will be coming at them very hard, as we see in the trailer and in the look into the 7th sister. They're really going to be after the rebels pretty aggressively.
I know someone.
My name is Rex, Captain, 501st Clone Battalion. Meet Commanders Gregor and Wolf.
Fighting alongside soldiers isn't what I signed up for.
We are fighting a bigger fight.
My parents! They're out there, and I've got to find them!
We're soldiers. This is what we were born to do.
There are questions that need answering.
You are a Jedi.
All right, so now one of the biggest moments and one that the fans probably enjoyed the most was seeing the clones back, Rex, Gregor, and Wolf. How amazing was that? And wow, of course they've aged And Dave Filoni goes on to mention this in the panel because they have accelerated growth hormones. That's how they raise the army so quickly and tackle the clones. So yeah, they're gonna age at a quicker pace. But from the trailer, it still looks like they could kick some butt. So they still look like they're pretty powerful themselves. And it's really cool because Ahsoka tells them where to find Rex. She says to find new allies. So they must have kept in some kind of contact throughout the years. So that'd be interesting to see. Maybe we'll get a glimpse as to what Ahsoka has been doing since the Clone Wars and what Rex, Gregor, and Wolf have been doing since the Clone Wars. Because that's a pretty big stretch and a tumultuous time. So it'd be interesting to see what they've been up to. Maybe they'll touch on that a bit. And what also I noticed was that Kanan was definitely uneasy about meeting the clones and definitely uneasy about being part of another war. That makes sense because he was directly affected by Order 66. I don't know if you guys are reading the comics, but him and his master were confronted by clones who were executing Order 66. So that makes sense that he'd be uneasy around clones, and having fought through the Clone Wars not too long ago, he's definitely not eager to get into another war.
Still a bounty hunter, I see.
Tell me you don't miss it.
Ezra, your parents, they escaped.
The Empire put a bounty on you.
You gonna try to collect it?
What if you forget whose side you're on?
I would never be on their side.
I'm Clan Rend, House Vizsla. I seek justice through single combat.
So it seems that Sabine used to be a bounty hunter, and it seems like Sabine's going to be a big part of the story going forward in Season 2, and it looks like they're really going to get into her backstory, which is amazing, because Season 1 they were so secretive, and everyone's wondering, who's Sabine, where's she from, because she's such a cool character, but so mysterious. And I have a feeling that the bounty hunter that she was fighting was her sister, or some kind of relative. I just feel the tension there, and they obviously know each other from the past. So it'll be cool to see them dive deeper into her past this season. And wow, was that epic. I don't know if you guys noticed, but she said she's from House Vizsla. Yeah, that Vizsla. Pre-Vizsla from the Clone Wars. What an amazing character he was. He was such a badass. And it'll be so cool. I wonder if that's just a nod to us Clone Wars fans that, hey, we're going to make her a part of someone from the Clone Wars. Or is it really going to be a material fact that she's from House Vizsla, that they're going to tie in at some point through the season or in the future that's a material fact? Because he was a really cool character. His face-off with Maul was amazing, and with Obi-Wan, and that'd be cool to learn more about him, or maybe more about House Vizsla. And it'll be awesome because we'll get to see more Mandalorians, and that's awesome. The Mandalorians were such a cool thing in the Clone Wars, and I wish there would have been more of them, more episodes about the Mandalorians. Yeah, so Ezra is going to have a busy storyline as well this season. Obviously, we find out his parents are alive, so he's going to definitely be looking for them. Maybe he'll find them, we'll see. And his powers are growing. So in Season 1, he is very much a beginner in the Force. And we saw him take some strides toward the end, but this season I expect we're going to see his powers grow and maybe become like an intermediate Force user where he's very much a beginner in Season 1. And he'll be definitely facing off with the Inquisitor, as we've seen from the trailer, and I'm sure that they'll run into Vader at some point throughout the season again.
The apprentice of Anakin Skywalker lives.
Skywalker's apprentice could lead us to other lost Jedi.
Unexpected, but not unwelcome.
But wow, this is the big epic thing from the trailer. Ahsoka. Wow, when she pulls out those two white or silver lightsabers, those are just awesome. And I think that's really cool that they went with like a white silverish color because, she left the Jedi Order after that whole arc in the Clone Wars, which was a great arc. And so I think that represents that she's not a part of the Jedi, and she's not a Sith, obviously. That she's just, on her own, and she's going to do what's right. And then that she's just a very pure character, so that could be why they use white and silver. And then it looks really cool, so that's awesome. I think she's going to be a very pivotal character this season. So we see Palpatine, who I think is being voiced by Sam Witwer, which is really cool. Is talking to Vader, and they know that she's alive, that Anakin Skywalker's Padawan's alive. And it seems like they're going to try to use her as bait to get to the other living Jedi. Obviously, Obi-Wan and Yoda. I'm sure Vader and Palpatine have some unfinished business there that they want to take care of. And then the big question is, when are they going to have Vader and Ahsoka face off? I mean, the fans have been waiting for it. We've been wondering. It's just, how are they going to handle it? Everyone loves Ahsoka. She's a great character, and her fans are really devoted. So if they kill her off, I mean, that's going to be very sad. I mean, I love Ahsoka, and I'll be sad if that happens. But I don't really know how this is going to end well for Ahsoka and even the other Rebels, because we don't see them in the original trilogy. There's been some speculation that we'll hear about later on that maybe Ahsoka's in Rogue One. So we'll see. But I don't know how that's all going to end. But man, it'll be cool to see Ahsoka back dueling the Inquisitors, because she was such an awesome character in the Clone Wars, and it'll be cool to see her, in action again. Now, so a fan asked Dave Filoni, who's the creator of Rebels, one of the creators, asked her, is Ahsoka going to be in Rogue One? And he said, wouldn't that be really cool, but he can't really comment, because obviously he'd get in trouble. They don't want too many secrets to come out about the new movie. But yeah, that'd be really cool. I think it could work. I know there's rumors that it's not going to focus on a Force user, but I've heard rumors, and I'm pretty sure that Vader's going to be in it. So they could work in Ahsoka. It's possible. But I think they want to keep the focus on stealing the plans and on, the main character who's not a Force user. But we'll see. And then they talked about, so they asked, will there be a reckoning between Ahsoka and Vader in Season 2? And Ashley Eckstein gives a sly smile. She does the character, the voice work for Ahsoka. And Filoni said that'd be cool, and that's something he's definitely thought about throughout the years and talked with George Lucas about. And he goes on to say, he really thinks about, would George be proud, or would George agree with what he does in the big moments of Rebels? So that's really cool to see that he still respects George's vision, because George, is the creator, and they worked really closely on Clone Wars. So it's cool to see that Dave Filoni has a lot of respect for George. So yeah, they thought about it. So I'm sure they have some ideas what to do, and he doesn't really give a clear answer whether we'll see a face-off in Season 2. But I think he kind of hints at it that it's coming, so we'll have to wait and see. And he talks about what happened to the millions of clones. He talks about how their accelerated growth makes them age. And he talks about if a clone won't execute the order for whatever reason, that they, for some reason the clone wouldn't execute Order 66, they would actually kill that clone. So some of them died that way. And he talks about a lot of the clones being for executing the Jedi because they were thought of corrupt. And, obviously they had that chip in their brain that executed Order 66, so I'm sure they didn't have much say, a lot of them. So it'll be cool to see if they talk about Rex, Gregor, and Wolf, to see if they removed that chip from their brain or what happened. And also there was this really interesting fan theory that they asked the panel, does Ezra become Kylo Ren? And the actor who plays Ezra, Gray, he thought that was really cool, and he was really excited to see what Dave Filoni had to say. And Dave basically said that's crazy and that it's not true. If you think about it, it's pretty interesting. It'd be an interesting way to go, but I just don't think that J.J. Abrams would go that route. I really don't think that would feel right. The age would be tough to match up. I believe Rebels is taking place 5 years before the Battle of Yavin. And so I guess the timing could work, but I just don't think it would feel right to go that route. But it's definitely an interesting fan theory. Yeah, so I'm really excited for Season 2 coming up. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be great to see the Rebels, really to see the Resistance grow, and working with Ahsoka and getting better ships and really building an army, it seems like. And they're going to face some tough challenges, I'm sure, this season, some tough choices. And I think Kanan's going to have to go all in and just, really commit to, it looks like a war is going to be starting. But I'm really definitely excited. They showed a lot in this new trailer. But, they can't show everything in the trailer, so there's obviously going to be even more stuff going on. It's going to be amazing to see. And they're going to have double the number of episodes of Season 1, so that's going to be amazing. And I'm sure we're going to be talking about Rebels throughout the season. So I'm really excited to see the character developments and see what happens. And, you know, we haven't even really talked about Hera or Zeb. I'm sure they're going to have a great development throughout the season and have some crazy adventures. And maybe they'll bring Frank Oz back to voice Yoda in some flashbacks, or James Arnold Taylor to voice Obi-Wan in some flashbacks. Maybe Ahsoka will meet up with Obi-Wan in this season. We don't know. But that'll be definitely really cool. And it's great they're going to have James Earl Jones continue to voice Vader. And they brought D. Bradley Baker back to voice the clones, because, I mean, I'm glad they brought him back. No one else could do the clones but him. And the way he'd give each clone their own personality was amazing. But yeah, I'm really excited for Season 2. And so I hope you guys are too. And let me know what you think about the premiere tomorrow. All right? Enjoy watching it. Peace.